So what if they was having a dream? I mean bad ones. I mean positively screaming memes. The worst of the worst. What would you do?
Don't worry, you're not haunted. Yet.
This podcast contains all the spoilers. You've been warned.
These witches curse. If you don't like cursing, then you're in for some toil and trouble. If you don't mind cursing, then let the cauldron bubble, baby.
Shh. Screaming Memes is starting now.
Hey, Haunted Humans, it's your girl, Kayla.
And Aubree. We have a great episode for you, diving further into the Flanagan filmography.
Most of the regular listeners know by now that Mike Flanagan is one of our favorite directors, and this episode will explore Ouija, Origin of Evil. Please enjoy this episode. What a nice Cape Cod-style house with mid to late 50s cars parked out front. But wait, what's that sign in the front yard that's enclosed in a white picket fence? Fortune teller. Wonderful. We are led into the house where we see a woman close the curtain to a room where two people sit at a round teller's table. The movie title takes over the screen as our excitement for the film takes over our senses.
All right, baby.
I'm so excited to watch
Fuck yeah.
A Flanaganagers.
A Flanaganagers. Let's do it.
Flanaganagers.
We're celebrating this movie the right way with Juan.
Juan, cheers.
Charles. Familiar actors we recognize as Flanagan's favorites are in the dark, eerie setting. Elizabeth Reeser, who we lovingly refer to as Cheryl, in reference to her character in The Haunting of Hill House, is playing the role of the fortune teller. Kate Siegel, aka Theo from The Haunting of Hill House, is playing the role of a concerned, skeptical daughter sitting across the table from her elderly father, who appears deeply grief-ridden. The fortune teller lights a candle in a wicker cabinet and joins the two at the table, joining hands. She asks the elderly man his wife's name, and he tells her Mary. The teller calls out to Mary, asking if she is with them, and the moment of silence is too much for the skeptical daughter, who tells her father not to give this woman their money. The table rumbles and the wicker cabinet doors open. Nice. Nice.
We're adding sound effects now.
Great.
I'm just kidding.
I love that. The woman asks Mary to give them a sign it's her by blowing out the lit candle, and the candle goes out on command.
The fortune teller now lights 3 candles in the center of the table and tells the man that they may ask 3 questions. The daughter pops off with an eye roll and the obvious question of why only 3? Ignoring the question, the teller calls out the rules of communication to the room, asking Mary to let the candles burn if the answer is yes, and blow it out if the answer is no. He asks first if she's in pain anymore, and the candle blows out, assuring him that she is no longer in pain, and in her state, she is restored to her youth. He immediately asks if she can forgive him, and the candle flickers but stays lit. She says that Mary forgives him and asks for his forgiveness in return. Upset, the daughter pulls away, saying she doesn't know how the teller is doing this, and the table rumbles again, with the fortune teller shouting, "Do not break the circle." The daughter says anyone can shake a table with their knee, but then is startled to see a dark figure behind the curtain. Was that Cheryl? Yeah.
Okay. It is Cheryl. Cheryl and Theo.
Into our circle with our candles 3.
Oh, she's not in it.
Ominous. This seems very convenient. Sounds like a trick.
Blew out all 4.
I think somebody's being a shisty shyster, maybe.
Very perceptive. I love the amount of sass that Theo is capable of delivering.
Totally. So good at getting those tears.
What do you see?
The 3 of them stare down the shadow behind the curtain, and the fortune teller says that she won't be here for long, encouraging them to continue. For his final question, the man asks his departed beloved about his daughter Jenny. She is seeing a new man who wants a lot of money for an investment, and he says he will marry her if it turns out right. They wait in silence as the candle blows out, upsetting the daughter, who declares it to be a scam. Right then, the shadow behind the curtain lunges forward, scaring the old man out of his chair, gripping his chest in terror. If it turns out right, press
Red
F to
flags.
doubt. Mm-hmm.
Red flags. What happens if that guy has a heart attack and dies?
I know, right?
Wait, is that what's going to happen? Shit. Oh, that would have been a great way to unravel that scam. The next thing we know, the two people are leaving the fortune teller's home, and she is comforting the man, trying to put him at ease with his experience. She refuses the money he offers her, and she watches hopefully as they drive away. Back in the house, the fortune teller is opening the curtains, shouting about the performance and calling her daughter Lena into the room. The young redhead comes marching in, saying that the lady was trying to steal her dad's money. Her mother reminds her that it's not their job to judge, but to give them peace of mind, and that it's Lena's job to stand at the curtain and not attack the clients. Meanwhile, the fortune teller opens up the armoire that is hiding the other daughter. The two girls, played by Annalise Basso and Lulu Wilson, who we lovingly refer to as Little Shirley, join their mother around the table, and the youngest, Doris, asks, "What is a scam?" The mother, Alice, tells Doris that a scam is a lie, but they don't lie. They help people believe the truth with a little showmanship. Lena pipes in to say that they're going to need to spice up the showmanship because it's getting stale, and if they aren't there to judge, then why did she blow out the last candle? Alice replies that nobody is perfect. Cut to Doris asleep on the couch in front of the TV when Alice comes to tell her it's time for bed, and we get a good look at the family photo that sends Aubree into reminiscence.
That's side-eye.
Mm-hmm. What was that? You almost gave that poor man a heart attack. Called it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love her. She's great in New Girl. She has like a little bit in New Girl.
It's little Cheryl.
Little tiny baby Cheryl.
It's kind of funny that
that's her mom
Shirley
now.
and little Shirley. But also,
I'm not sorry.
Yeah. I'll always remember that girl from Annabelle Creation. That's what I remember her from. Can I ruin this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ruin it.
Okay, great. The guy in the picture is, obviously the dad, the husband.
Mm-hmm.
I will always remember that guy from Slam and Salmon, the movie.
Okay.
And he goes to the restaurant, and he's sitting there with a woman, and the waiters are all trying to get like a really big tip, so they're like telling the other tables like, that couple is just gotten married, or they just got out of prison, they're going on their honeymoon, or like she's just recovered from cancer, or he just took his first steps. Like they're all making these like bullshit lies to like have them send them like wine or something so their tab is bigger. And the guy is just, and then it cuts to them sitting across from each other, and it's like clearly this dude has hired a prostitute, and that's who she is. And he's like, I can't wait to kick in your back door. And he's like, and then they get caught in the middle of him saying that. He's like, what? It's perfectly natch. Are you a cop? And then she goes, wow. Are you? I will always remember that guy for that part because it's funny as fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Completely unrelated. If you haven't seen the Slam and Salmon, but you love Super Troopers and Beer Fest, watch it. It's my favorite one, Broken Lizard. Doris kneels at the end of her bed praying while Alice sits listening with a smile. We find out that Doris is praying to her dad, and Alice points out that Father Tom says they are supposed to pray to God. Doris explains that she would rather talk to her daddy, and she doesn't understand why he never answers, because the people they help always get answers from their lost loved ones. Alice explains that just because you can't hear him doesn't mean he isn't there. Moving on to say goodnight to Lena, Alice knocks on the door, and we see Lena preparing to sneak out. As she does, we see a doll next to another family photo. Lena arrives to a little party with a few people at her friend's house who offer her booze. That would be very confusing for a young kid.
Yeah.
Somebody sneaking out, the full face of makeup. And a bouffant hairdo. Were you a dolls girl?
No.
Me neither. I hated dolls. Still do.
G.I. Joes.
Still do. Yeah, I was a dinosaurs and TMNT kind of gal. The girliest thing I had were My Little Ponies. But they were dope.
We had Barbies, but our neighbor kid had G.I. Joes, and he wanted to play with the Barbies, and we wanted to play with the G.I. Joes, so we would swap.
All right, yeah, I had Barbies, but they were just kind of like other characters to play with the other things. Like the dinosaurs would eat them and stuff.
Yep. Alice is looking at a building pile of past due bills, but Lena is having a great time at her underage drinking soiree. Lena sees a Ouija box on the top of a stack of board games. One friend asks if it's the game where you talk to ghosts, and when asked if they want to play, she hesitates. We could just make conversation. The game is out now, and they're going over the rules. Now, just in case you've never played this ancient game, here are the rules. Never play alone. Never play in a graveyard. Always say goodbye. Circle once for each player, and the game begins with Lena's friend Ellie asking if there are any spirits with them. The planchette moves to yes, and the other girl, Betty, says, "Oh my God." The boy, Mikey, asks Ellie if she's moving the planchette, but she denies it. Betty asks, "What's it like on the other side?" The planchette responds with, "Cold." Lena explains how the game works, with them naturally reacting to the slightest pull, and that it's just them. Mikey says if it's just them, then will Lena go to homecoming with him? Ellie gets excited, and the planchette moves to yes. Betty starts wigging out again, and Ellie asks the spirit to show them a sign of their presence. Just as they start to relax from no sign of the spirit, Ellie's mom bursts into the room, scaring all the kids.
I have that exact same box.
Do you?
It's fucked up. It's like barely put together, but yeah. That green dress is very Kaala. Maybe not that color, but that style.
Oh, I like green a lot.
Yeah. I could see you wearing the orange one. I like the purple dress. It looks really itchy, but I like it.
We could just make conversation.
But how does one know you're in a graveyard? Truly. You know?
Yeah.
Especially given America's past. Saw that coming.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's like me when we're watching it. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Jesus fucking Christ, man. Oh, my fucking rotator cuff. Oh, fuck.
Did you throw it out?
It was already thrown out.
Oh, no.
It's fucked up. I was just sitting back all casual. Oh, nothing scary is going to happen.
I mean, you at least had the sense to not have your wine in your hand. You knew. Alice arrives to pick up her delinquent child, Lena, with a sleeping Doris in the backseat. Alice tells Lena she can smell her breath, but gives her heartfelt understanding for what she has been going through with her dad's passing, and asks that she help out and try harder to not get into trouble. Then she rolls her eyes at Lena for playing Ouija, but Lena says it's actually pretty cool, and that they should consider adding it to their act. The next morning, Lena is trying to rush out the door, saying she is walking with a friend, but when Alice inquires about which friend, Lena brushes her off as the doorbell rings. And wouldn't you know, Mikey has come to walk Lena to school, and he offers a handshake to Alice. She tells them that if they're walking to school, they should take Doris as well, which gives her time with Mikey while Doris gets ready. Mikey tells Alice that she has a beautiful home, and asks if the room to the right is where they do the seances, which Alice corrects saying readings, as she invites him to sit down. She asks if he has ever had his palm read, and says that it's totally painless. Alice takes Mikey's hand and shows him what the lines are, and then says that there is something tricky about his lifeline. He asks what it is, and she says she's not sure, but she can tell him that if this hand or the other touches her daughter, she would hate for the lifeline to be cut short while pressing her thumb into a pressure point. She sends them on their way, and with her free morning, she picks up a copy of the Ouija board game. Shirley is disappointed in you, and she can serve disappointment. Ugh, Catholic school on uniform. Thank God Noodle didn't hear that one. Le Chat Noir poster. That skirt is so much higher than the regulation I had to wear at fucking high school. It couldn't be more than 3 inches above your knee.
Yeah, ours was the same.
That was a very good polishing the shotgun.
Yep. I like
dad routine.
And it's an easy one because you can really put men to their knees with their hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she didn't even twist it.
A lot of pressure points.
Yeah. Did you know that nobody really knows the inception of the Ouija board?
Yeah, I've heard that.
And
I didn't know if that was like true
It
or
is
if
true.
I just heard that.
They used to use talking boards, for a long time, but there was no, like, quote unquote inventor. And then Hasbro just took it and ran with it and made that Ouija board. That's a Hasbro board, which is so weird to think.
Yeah. Alice is sitting in her car outside the Christian school, circling ads in the paper when she notices 2 boys harassing Doris, saying her mom is a witch and calling her weird. Before Alice can intervene, the pastor dismisses the boys and kneels down to tell Doris that they are just scared. Alice sends Doris off to the car and has a word with the pastor, asking if Doris has many problems with the other kids. She says that Doris has been slow to making friends since her dad died, and Father Tom says he talks about that with her. Lena walks by and mean mugs her mom. On the drive home, Doris says they should invite Father Tom over for a reading to talk to his wife. Lena says he's a priest. They're not allowed to have wives, but Doris says he did have a wife before he was a priest, and she died just like their dad.
It's your boy, Henry Thomas.
Thanks, Dad.
I know, right? That's what I mean. Like, I'm so interested. How did they work with so many of the same people and, like, switch gears between who their character is and who their character is that they're playing against,
I mean, I imagine it's just the same as them switching out of character to the talking to their real friend,
I suppose so. Yeah, it'll be really interesting doing a deep dive on the history on this. When the ladies all arrive home, Doris notices the new Ouija board in the reading room. Alice tells Doris that it is a new prop for work. Later, we see Alice working on the board and planchette to make them easily manipulated with magnets on her knee straps. When Alice begins practicing her act, she asks if there are any spirits with them, completely ignoring the rule to never play alone. The scene shifts to Doris looking up from her toys upstairs and responding to the questions her mother is asking. Lena looks confused by Doris's sudden monotone speech. When Alice finishes her test demonstration, Doris goes back to playing with her toys, and Lena asks, "What the hell was that?" Doris says, "What?" in an innocent, unknowing response.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's something maybe you guys should talk about or talk to your mom about or literally do anything other than be like, that was weird?
So you weren't just playing pretend there? What do you mean?
Night sets upon the house, and Alice gives in to her curiosity and uses the Ouija board to ask if her husband Roger is there. After a moment of no response, she walks away feeling silly for trying. When she's out of sight, the planchette moves along the board until it covers the answer, no. Doris comes lurking out of the shadows, whispering to the board that she's there and asking, "Are you there?" The planchette moves around the board, spelling out, "Hi, friend," and Doris asks, "Now what?" Then Doris does the unthinkable and picks up the planchette, holding it up to her eye and looking through it around the room until she stops and her eyes widen. "Who are you?" she asks. Cut to Lena sleeping soundly in bed until the sheets slowly begin to slide down. She pulls them up and they slowly pull away again. This time she yanks them up. Then the sheet rips off Lena to the ground and she sits up yelling for Doris to knock it off, but doesn't see anyone. Lena bravely pulls the sheets off the ground and lays back down for sleep as we see a shadow figure with glowing white eyes in the doorframe.
Planchette is huge.
Yeah.
Cue movement.
No.
Mm. What the fuck? Is that one of the kids?
Yeah, it's Doris.
Damn, she scared the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You'll enjoy seeing
Girl,
things
what
in
you
the
doing?
backgrounds
Just
of
standing
this
there in the
as
fucking
well.
hall.
So she did know, and she just lied to her older sister. Got it. Okay. Hi, friend. Hi, friend.
Who are you? All this kind of stuff freaks me out. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping now. The slow pull of the blanket and then the pull of the foot. You know? Ah! It's gonna rip it, huh? Jeez, fucking, I knew it was gonna happen. It still freaked me out.
She didn't turn the light on is wild to me.
Nope. Oh my
See that?
God, yeah, that's... Ah!
And she didn't turn the light on. Wild.
That's crazy.
Alice pulls up to the school looking dolled up and making sure it's noticeable before heading in to meet with Father Tom. He says it's kind of awkward to have to call her in for this, but he wants to know if she has been helping Doris with her homework. Alice, distracted by the photo of the priest's late wife, says she should probably be doing more and asks if Doris is falling behind. He shows her that it's quite the opposite and that Doris is writing in cursive. They ask Doris who has been helping her, and she says her new friend. But when they ask about her new friend, she shrugs them off. On the drive home, Alice accuses Lena of helping, but Lena firmly denies it. Doris insists that she let her new friend use her hand. Arriving home, the family is greeted by a foreclosure notice taped to the front door.
Doris asks Lena, at the reading table set with 3 finished dinner plates, if they're going to have to move. Lena is unsure, and Doris says their dad isn't going to like this, and that she should tell him. Doris pulls the Ouija board out of the cupboard and starts the ritual to talk to her father. She begins telling him about what is happening, and Lena goes outside to sit with her mother on the front steps. They talk about the house being the last remaining piece of Roger, alluding to his soul being in the walls of the home. Just then, Doris pulls a brick from the wall in the basement behind the furnace. Lena and Alice discuss Doris not understanding that Roger is gone, like he's away on a trip, not killed by a drunk driver. Their heart-to-heart is interrupted by Princess Possessed, who delivers a bank-like zipper pouch full of cash. She shows them where she found it, saying Daddy showed her, and it belonged to the people that were there before.
How do you accept that answer?
Yeah, maybe ask some more questions about the new friend.
Right.
That's what I would be doing. I let her use my hand. What the fuck? Yeah. If you're not freaked out now.
She's talking to somebody. Holy furnace, Batman. The family sits down to the Ouija board with Doris taking the lead. They all place their fingertips on the planchette. Doris tells her father that they found the money and then says that it's hard to hear him sometimes, like a car radio, when you drive through a tunnel. He is more clear when she is at the board, and even clearer when she touches the planchette. Lena is visibly upset and says that this is mean. Doris asks, "Daddy, are you here?" And the planchette moves to yes. Lena immediately jumps up and shouts, "Stop it." Alice says if this is Roger, then where were you when I told you I was pregnant with Lena? The planchette, with Alice and Doris's fingers still touching, moves over the letters S-H-O-W-E-R. Shower. Alice removes her hands, looking shaken, as Lena demands to know if this was right. Doris says that he doesn't really need her and lets go of the planchette, then asks if the answer was right, and the planchette moves to the yes on the board, causing Alice to jump back. Doris tries looking through the planchette and says sometimes she can see them through it, but she hasn't seen her dad yet, even though she wants to. Alice kneels down and asks Roger, "Are you really there?" And the planchette again moves to yes.
That's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
How about, are you alone?
Is anyone with you? Why won't you show yourself?
Alice sits with Lena, trying to convince her that this is real and they can actually do what they have been pretending to do this whole time. Most importantly, They can talk to Daddy again. Lena is not convinced, and Alice explains that her mother was a fortune teller and she had sight. When Alice was young, she thought that it was all a scam, but now she believes that she was right and that it just skips a generation. Alice walks away, and Lena looks through the planchette, seeing movement that scares her into ignoring it and leaving.
So I took on her scam.
I know, right?
To be pathetic like her.
Yeah, right. So then I became her. Wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't either.
Oh, hell no, bro. You see it?
Mm-hmm. And did I want to see it?
No. The next day, Lena and Mikey are taking a stroll at school, discussing their plans for homecoming. Mikey leans in for a kiss when Father Tom interrupts with a line that most conservative schoolgoers know all too well. Leave space for Jesus. Yep, there it is.
Not much room for the Holy Ghost.
They said that at dances all the time. Leave room for the Holy Ghost. Leave room for Jesus.
Father Tom takes Lena to his office to talk to her about Doris. He is concerned that she has been absent, and he pries into what's going on at home. Lena explains that Doris and her mother have been working. Cut to Doris doing a reading for a woman who asks, "Is he proud of me?" Doris removes her hands from the planchette and closes her eyes. The woman and Alice both let go, and the planchette moves to the yes on the board. Then a male's voice cuts through Doris to answer,
Always.
The woman and Alice both look stunned as Doris laughs and says that tickled, and then a look of unease hits her face and she rubs the back of her neck.
Using your daughter for this is so sick.
Uh-huh.
I never watched the Slender Man movie, did you?
No.
Whoa, shit. You're letting this stuff happen?
You see that?
She doesn't like that. That was creepy. The older daughter is in the Slender Man movie. That's why I was...
Oh. Was the movie supposed to be any good?
You know, I don't know. I remember, like, that it was coming out and everything, and that I wanted to see it, but I never did.
I heard the video game is good, but I haven't heard... I feel like the movie wasn't good, but I could just be misremembering.
In New Girl, Zooey Deschanel is dating her dad, and she's her teacher at the same time.
Oh.
And she ends up having to, like, watch her for, like, a babysitting situation.
Oh, God.
She puts on all of her bras and stuff and, like, shoves a pillow under her stomach, and she's like, "You pregnant?" Like, she's being, like, really silly, like, obnoxious preteen or whatever. And that's all I can see when I'm looking at her is, "You pregnant?"
That's funny.
Yeah, this is so creepy. I don't know how the mother is okay with this.
Doris is sleeping soundly when she suddenly wakes to pain in her neck. She wakes up her sister, telling her about her pain, and Lena gives her some ibuprofen, saying if it gets worse, they'll wake up Mom. Doris says it hurts, like a bee sting, then lays back down in bed. Still in pain, Doris heads down to the Ouija board and asks what happened to her neck. No response. She whimpers, "Daddy, it hurts." No response. Doris picks up the planchette and looks through the glass. She pans slowly across the room, from left to right. When she gets to the right, out of the corner of her eye, a dark figure moves. Doris is startled, then looks through the planchette again, and this time pans right to left. Again, when she gets to the other end of her panning, a figure moves near her, and she is struck with pain. She gets up and walks to a mirror to do the scariest thing, and look through the planchette into the mirror. Doris sees a dark, yellow-eyed demon towering over her. As she screams, the demon forces its arm down her throat. We see Doris bent backwards unnaturally with her mouth agape while the demon takes over her as a vessel. Doris lays twitching on the ground. Oh, you should put your wine down.
Probably right.
Can you imagine if she looks in a mirror? Oh,
With the planchette.
Mm-hmm.
Freaky. Is she about to do that? She's about to do that.
Oh my god, is she about to do that?
Oh my god!
I've seen this movie enough. You think I'd remember that? Oh yeah, she's definitely about to do it.
I'm so scared. Oh my god! What the fuck is that? Oh my... What the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, she's full on possessed now. Oh my god. Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
Lena is sleeping while Princess Possession is whispering sweet nothings into her ear. Lena wakes in a panic sweat to see that there is nothing there. She heads to the bathroom, and when the water is running in the sink, she hears the whispers again. Looking in the mirror, Lena sees that her mouth is starting to disappear to only flesh and her eyes are graying like the dead. Lena suddenly wakes from her nightmare and the scene cuts to Doris staring into space at school. Some idiot boys watch her saying that she's a freak, and one boy decides he's going to fling a rock at her with a slingshot. He begins to aim, and Doris whips her head around, locking eyes with him. He slowly redirects his aim to point directly at his own face while Doris stares him down and his friend begs him to stop. The camera cuts away to Doris smiling as we hear the snap of the slingshot and the scream of the boy.
Ugh.
That is so disturbing.
How do you know you're in a graveyard, Kayla? How do you know?
You never know.
Oh no, it's Bathtub Lady from The Shining.
You pulling your face off? Oh, wait, what the fuck? Oh, you have no mouth now. What the fuck is happening? Whoa, that's a bad dream.
Sister's whispering some sweet nothings in your ear at night, apparently.
Peanut butter sandwiches.
Uncrustables. He's got a monster killer there. Make him piss his pants. Make him piss his pants. Oh, okay.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
It's almost like Karma's a bitch or something.
Damn. You think that kid lost an eye?
Maybe.
Ooh, this one's spooky.
Do you want me to
I'm not sleeping tonight.
Yeah. Told you, it's a good one. The girls are sitting in front of the TV as Alice comes in looking so glammed up that Lena takes notice. Alice is off for the evening and wishes the girls a good night as she hurries out the door. Alice arrives at a nice restaurant to meet none other than Father Tom, who is already seated and waves her over. They start off with some light conversation, and Father Tom tells Alice he invited her to talk about the girls and their life at home away from earshot. The scene cuts to Doris in front of the TV with her eyes completely grayed over when the doorbell rings. Lena lets Mikey in and sends him upstairs when she tells Doris that if she squeals on her, she will melt all of her dolls in her best threatening voice. Back at dinner, Father Tom explains that he is no expert on the occult, but that the spirit world is dangerous. Alice explains that what they do is not dangerous. She wishes he would let her show him and help him talk to his wife. The two of them reminisce over their lost loves, and Alice comments on his inability to have that love now with priesthood. He toasts her to another life they may have lived. Who do you think she's going on a hot date with?
The priest?
Is
it the priest?
Such scandal. Must not be Catholic.
That is so horrifying.
She still ordered the lobster and she didn't think she was on a date anymore. And they're drinking a Bordeaux? And this is not a date? Press F to doubt.
At the house, Mikey and Lena are trying to play it cool in her room when she tells him that it's time to go, and he gives her a kiss before heading downstairs. Once downstairs, Mikey is greeted by a hauntingly cheery Doris waiting next to the front door. She asks him if he wants to know something cool, then proceeds to tell him step by step what it feels like to be strangled to death in a monologue only Flanagan could direct. She tells him goodnight, and Mikey stands there stunned for a moment before leaving the house. Later, Lena goes to check on Doris in her room when she sees Doris staring off at the ceiling while writing on some paper. Lena goes to her room and finds her doll with its mouth sewn shut. In a rage, Lena goes off on Doris, who claims that Daddy did it. Alice enters the scene asking what's going on, and Lena storms off shouting at her. Lena is desperate to get her mother to believe that something is not right with Doris, and the things that they are seeing are not their dad. Alice only wants Lena to believe with them and is not hearing what Lena is really saying. The next day, Lena is preparing her things for school when she finds Doris's writings. She has like a real Daphne look about her.
I was just going to say the same thing. Just leave. Just go. No, you fucked now.
What?
And he's still standing there?
Monologues for Flanagan are like candy to kids, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, this is so sweet. It's so sweet to watch this tiny little actor do this amazing monologue and have that shot on her face the entire time, her just looking so haunting.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
I agree. But for real, why was that guy still standing there listening to that whole thing? I would be out of there. Not even looking at what she's writing. Not spooky at all. Fucking creepy.
All right. Sounds like we got one person who's sane.
Lena brings Doris's writings to Father Tom, asking if he knows anyone that can read Polish. He finds someone to translate them, and then shows up to the house to discuss his findings. Alice opens the door enthusiastically, surprised to see Father Tom, who asks to take her up on her offer for the reading. When Lena comes downstairs, he says he thought he would come see what all the fuss was about, and asks Doris if she could read for him. Doris, Alice, and Father Tom sit down at the table, and they try to connect with his wife, Gloria. Father Tom begins asking very specific questions about her middle name and if she forgives him. When the answer is an immediate yes, he asks, for what? The reply spells out fight, and he says, thank you, love, but what was the fight about? The planchette moves to no, and Doris says that Gloria says it's not important. Then the planchette moves around the board while Doris and Father Tom stay locked in a stare down.
Alice reads out the words, don't hide behind the collar. Want you to be. Then she's cut off by Doris speaking with a grown woman's voice saying, happy. He tries to be chill and thanks Doris for the reading. Father Tom says that the reading was not the only reason that he came by and that Lena has gotten herself into some trouble at school. He would like to speak about it, nodding to Lena for her confirmation. He asks if there's somewhere that they can speak in private, but Doris asks to come with. He says, she's quite a young lady now, and asks if she could hold down the fort for a moment. When Alice tries to ask what this is about, Lena grabs her arm tightly and offers her room. Hi, beautiful. Oh, thank you.
Wow. Oh, gross. Thank you for the kiss on my mouth.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. I love this
But
girl.
she's snuggling you so cute right now.
She's being a sweet girl.
Yeah, who's my good girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss her snuggles while we're watching movies.
I know. She misses it too.
It was nice to have her snores in incantation.
Oh, yeah. That was so cute. When she just, like, threw herself in her lap, like, and the big sigh, like, I missed this. I don't even know what the fuck you guys doing here, but I missed it.
I just need to be between your warmths.
I know. I need my girl time in silence for her.
Why would you think they were in Polish?
Like, how would you know? In the 60s, how would you know it was in Polish? I saw her writing it. Really burying the lead on that one. Oh, just think my sister's possessed. NBD. My BFF Jill.
Ruh-roh. Does he have the answers?
Seems that way.
The white picket fence. Of Madame Zander, fortune teller. Ha ha ha. I like how quickly they added a Ouija board to the sign. You can tell the man of the Lord is in the house.
We're playing it real cool, Lena. Do you notice how this is the only time you see light coming from the curtains?
Yeah.
When he's there? How about outside? He should know better than doing it in the house. Just saying.
Right? Today, Erin was like, Presley just told me that she was playing with Elsa. And I said, where's Elsa? And she said, she's a ghost. And he's like, so I'm going to let you handle that one. And I said, by handle it, you mean we're not talking about this anymore inside of our house at all? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Shh. I think she just thinks that everything's a ghost that's, like, imaginary in her mind.
Yeah.
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 Because the way she describes, like, Bob or whatever that character, it's like,
yeah, Bill.
It's like, clearly she's talking about Big City Greens guy.
Right,
And,
totally.
like,
And
I'm sure
she
she's
was
talking
saying
about
Anna and
Elsa Frozen.
Yeah, she definitely mentioned it a couple times. But
yeah, I think she's messing up, like, ghost and imaginary friend or, like, imagination.
yeah, just as long as there's not ghosts that are just like, I'm just Elsa. I'm just Anna.
Yeah, right.
From your favorite shows.
Yeah, right.
I don't need to think about
Yeah,
that.
right.
Okay,
We don't need to
moving
think about that.
on.
Yeah, let's just scoot on by that possibility. Alice, Lena, and Father Tom head upstairs, and Father Tom asks Lena where Doris wrote the script. Lena takes him to Doris's room where he explains that he tricked Doris. He says a Bible verse about not believing false prophets as he pulls the papers that Lena gave him out of his briefcase. Alice sits at the end of Doris's bed, and Father Tom pulls up a chair to explain that Doris gave simple, generic answers to the first questions. Alice asks if he is calling Doris a fraud, to which Father Tom says, no, and tries to explain. When Father Tom asked Doris his wife's middle name, he thought his mother's middle name instead, as hard as he could. Lena chimes in, explaining that when we ask a question we know the answer to, we think the answer when we ask it. Father Tom says that when he asked what the fight was about, he cleared his mind and she changed the subject. He explains that the voice that came out of her was just a voice to shock him, not really Gloria's voice. Father Tom says he doesn't believe that Doris is a fraud. He believes she is channeling forces we don't understand.
The scene cuts to Doris on the couch downstairs with her eyes wide and gray and her jaw dropped low enough to live in your nightmares from hell. The doorbell rings and her face returns to normal. Why Mikey would return to the house after what Doris said to him is completely beyond our understanding, yet here he is looking for Lena. Doris invites him in and closes the door, then says that Lena, her mom, and the man are upstairs talking about us. Then she asks him if he wants to see something neat. He's backing away as she tells him about the treasure in the walls that is where they found the money to save the house.
Oh my God, it's a good thing Noodle wasn't in here. Look at that. Whoa, I'm never sleeping. I'm never sleeping again.
Mm-hmm. No. Not after that great story you told last time.
Right?
You know he's not thinking with the right head to come back after that very creepy
that's for sure.
strangulation detail.
We know where all of his blood flow is.
Mm-hmm. Or, and hear me out, you could wait outside. Just saying. Father Tom explains to Lena and Alice that the writings that Doris made are journal entries from a man who grew up in Poland. He talks about his family being rounded up by the Germans during the invasion and about a doctor called the Devil's Doctor because of his interest in the occult. He was rescued by Allies and brought to America, then ended up in a mental hospital where he recognized one of the doctors to be the Devil's Doctor. He tells of the doctor taking him away in the night to a house he describes. Their house. Meanwhile, Doris is showing Mikey the hole in the wall behind the furnace where she found the money and apparently jewelry she put back and didn't tell anyone about. Mikey reaches deep into the hole while Father Tom tells the ladies that the journal talks about a secret room in the basement, and Mikey pulls out a doctor bag from the wall. Doris is standing in the shadows behind Mikey with her eyes glowing like the demon we saw possess her.
The doctor cut out the tongues of his patients, severed their vocal cords, and sewed their mouths shut so that no one would hear them upstairs. The journal describes his murder in great detail, and then, more about the things that happened after in the dark with the other things that are in the dark that were never human. Mikey pulls a skull out of the wall and Doris makes a comment about the house having good bones. Alice is upset processing the news and says that Doris knew things about her and Roger that only he would know. Lena reminds her that those things happened in the house, and she realizes that they are being watched right now. Finally, it dawns on Lena that their home is a graveyard, and you can see it all over her face.
And why are you showing me this?
Little doctor briefcase, huh? Little doctor bag.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness gracious. Hey, I made that comment in my short story.
Yep.
Good bones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From being in this house. And then she realizes that she started all of this. Look at that face.
Lana snores with all of the rumbling of
the surround sound is
footsteps and
excellent. And kill her. Just kidding. They all head downstairs and realize that Doris is not in the living room anymore. They call out for her and don't see her, but hear a sound upstairs where they just came from. They pause briefly. When they turn away from the stairs, Mikey's body is flung over the railing hanging from a rope, shocking all of them and sending Lena to the floor crying out. Alice tries to bring Lena back to reality, telling her that they need to find Doris, and they all head down the basement with the plan to burn the Ouija board in the furnace. Down in the basement, they hear old music playing, and then the light goes out as Alice burns the board. Lighting a match for the furnace, Alice is startled by the skull on the wall. Father Tom looks closer, noting that the bones of the victims are all there, and Lena tells her mom that they played in a graveyard.
We hear Doris calling, "Mom, help!" from a tunnel space in the wall. Father Tom says if she's in there, he will bring her out, and then crawls into the secret room. In the room, a gramophone plays a haunted old tune that Father Tom pulls the needle from. He looks at the surgical tools laid out on a table when he hears Doris say, "That's where we died." Father Tom immediately begins reciting the Lord's Prayer, but is interrupted by Doris's changing voice saying that he can't see this house. None of them would still be here if he could. Father Tom asks if Doris is still there, and the demon shakes the child's head with a big smile. Father Tom tries to begin another prayer, but is charged by the possessed child.
Get outside now. Well, good job telling it your plan.
Yep. It's like Lana has never slept so soundly than between you and me watching a horror movie.
It's true. She's very pleased.
Well, Noodle isn't fucking with her, so that's probably why.
Yeah, it's her happy place.
Yep.
It was just the light went out, but it scared me.
Well, she shouldn't have said anything.
Hey, maybe look inside the furnace before you light it and shit.
Or we can still light the furnace.
So many bodies.
See the chains around their necks and stuff?
And never once did you guys say goodbye.
Nope.
All of the sudden you care about the rules?
That's one brave fucking dude.
Yeah.
Don't know if going alone is the move.
I'm honestly shook that as a priest he hasn't tried doing any prayers yet.
I know, right? So I was gonna say, you would think he'd be mumbling under his breath this whole time. Or shouting loudly. Or pulling out a Bible. Or anything.
Creepy dungeon. Wow, all the tools still laid out, just covered in cobwebs.
Ugh, gross.
He can see this house. He can see everything, right?
Father Tom crawls out of the hole with his face down, and Alice asks him where Doris is. He stands with his head still down and says, "She is part of the walls now." He lifts his head to reveal gray eyes and says, "She told me the most wonderful, awful things," as he holds up a long, curved knife. Lena and Alice run up the basement stairs, but Father Tom grabs a hold of Alice. Lena makes it to the door, but the house will not let it open. Father Tom holds the knife up over Alice, and she looks in his eyes, saying his name. He snaps out of the spell for a moment long enough to shut himself in the basement. But surprise, Nightmare Demon Doris is up in the corner of the ceiling and yeets Father Tom down the stairs to his death.
Alice tells Lena she needs to get out of here, but Alice is thrown into the living room by an invisible force. Lena gets yanked up the stairs, then hunted down by the prowling Doris demon. Alice gets up to find Doris with her legs and arms wrapped around Lena, whispering sweet nothings in her ear again. Alice pleads for the thing to stop and begs for it to take her instead. Mikey's hanging body drops to the floor, distracting Alice for a second. When she looks back at Lena, Doris is gone. Doris pops up behind her and says, We'll take you all.
Yeah, he looks fine.
Jesus. Oh, man. Well, that was a fucked way for him to die.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
The never-ending Ouija.
Do you want to see them or not?
Whoa.
Whoa!
Oh my God, that's horrific. Ow.
So I kicked her in the face. The motherfucking face.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Alice wakes to being dragged past Father Tom's body, and we get a horrifying glimpse of an overly wide smile on Doris Demon. Cut to Lena being laid down in bed and waking up to catch a fading shadow of her father laying her down. She lifts her doll up, looking at the sewn mouth and remembering Doris telling her that Daddy did it to stop the voices. Cut back to Alice in the basement being locked to the torture table by Demon Doris. She cries, saying she just wanted them to be able to talk to Roger again, but Demon Doris says, he's gone. He is in the dark and the cold, and he screams and screams. Doris Demon is knocked out by Lena, who disagrees. Lena picks up a needle and thread, saying, sorry, Doris. But Doris scream blasts her back into the wall. Lena gets up and charges Demon Doris, ready to sew her mouth shut when she sees a yellow light in the gaping mouth. Lena begins violently sewing the mouth closed as many yellow-eyed demons try to take hold of her. Once she finishes, the demons blast away, knocking her back into the wall again.
Alice wakes up to see Doris with her sewn mouth lying on the floor. She rips out of the chains and crawls to her daughter, sobbing. Lena is in the dark and says she had to do it to stop the voices. She slowly comes over to Alice and kneels down beside her. Lena looks over with her eyes glazed in gray and stabs Alice in the gut. When she pulls the blade out, the gray in her eyes fades and Lena is left to realize what she has done. Alice, struggling to breathe, says that it wasn't Lena and that it was her own fault. Through their teary goodbyes, Alice sees Doris and Roger standing there and tells Lena that everyone is waiting.
Oh, Dad's there.
Perfectly natch. What the fuck kind of knife even is that?
Fishing knife?
Ugh. Now you. You think that means she was dead the moment it possessed her?
I don't know.
Because, like, sewing someone's mouth shut isn't gonna kill them. But why didn't you sew your mouth shut first before going down there?
Right.
Oh, you know, just in my trauma. Lena devolves to hysterics as we hear her name be called, and we are snapped to Lena sitting in a psych office being asked about what happened to her family. The doctor asks her about her mother, and Lena says that the only thing she can say about her mother is that she wanted to know what happened to her husband after he died. And now she knows. She says we are not alone, and she will never be alone. Lena is in her psychiatric hospital room and is making a Ouija board out of her own blood on the floor. She asks if Doris is there. The doc is walking by the room and we see Lena and Doris standing side by side. The doctor does a double take, steps back to the doorway again, and looks in the window to see Lena staring right back at him. Suddenly, Demon Doris comes charging across the ceiling, crawling upside down like a bat towards the doctor. It's wild to me that she would do that.
I mean, you have to imagine she's so fucking traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the fuck? It's not horrifying. Creepy!
Mm-hmm. Do you like that one?
Yeah,
That's good, right?
Flanaganagers does it again, or did it once upon a time.
Produced by Michael Bay and Jason Blum.
It doesn't seem like
Bayhem? Yeah, I didn't
something
think
that
either.
you would need to have seen the first one for, because
Nah.
I fully received everything out of that movie, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's 5 out of 5 scaries for me.
Yep.
Screamies are 5s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say 4, only because I've seen this movie several times. But when I first watched it, I definitely would say 5. So I guess we could go with 5.
I would say 4 for Mimi's.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job of explaining, like, why this is happening and where it all started. And
Wow, what a party.
are you going to be able to sleep tonight?
Nope, definitely not.
I love the way they did these credits.
Yeah,
They're-
these are spooky.
It's like
Like
you're
it's looking through the planchette. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a ghost. Oh shit, it's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
Hey, haunted humans, we're back for the discussion.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so we're here for the discussion for Ouija, Origins of Evil. I would say I really enjoyed that movie. Personally, I have to go back and watch it the second time for writing the synopsis. And watching it the second time, I was just as scared. As scared. So 5 out of 5 screamies for me. Definitely scary. There's a lot of like haunting images that will live in my brain rent free. So that is always going to get me a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Also, we all know I like the paranormal stuff the most. You know, I like the ghosty, like possession stuff the most. That's my bag. I also really enjoyed the story, and I think I have some theories that we'll get into. What about you?
Okay, great. Yeah, I would say, this is probably my maybe 3rd time seeing it. So I probably would go with a 4 for Screamies. But obviously my first time was 5, and that's why I keep, coming back to it and being like, oh, it's still a good movie. So
Right.
Rewatchability. I think it all comes out in the wash. It's like a 5 for me. And I also would agree with the Mimis at 4. I feel like they could have added a little bit more context, but it wasn't really necessary. So, I feel like it's just a solid horror movie.
Yeah, I don't think we were missing anything out of the story. There is always room to add more things, but also if there was more added, it could have been a little convoluted and we might have missed out on some of the things that we enjoyed in it. So, I enjoyed it. Really good. I have some theories.
Right.
So, one of the things that stood out to me was the sewing of the mouth and the representation of like that voicelessness.
Yeah.
Right? So
like forced silence.
Yeah. So basically when the movie boils down, we find out that this entity, we'll say, that's possessing Doris is like maybe a spirit or spirits. Some that were never human and some that were human, but the human spirits, one of them was a gentleman from Poland who ended up in the States after the occupation and had another encounter with a devil doctor, a really bad psychopath who sewed their mouths shut and took away their voices, severed their vocal cords, took away their voices so that they couldn't be heard.
So he could torture them in peace.
Yes, that you could torture them in peace, which is so horrible.
Yeah.
And that representation of the voicelessness then being given a voice by using the Ouija board and the don't fuck with the things that you don't understand. Don't give a voice to something that you don't know what you're giving a voice to, know? I thought that was really an interesting kind of metaphor. I noticed that whenever Doris was whispering into Lena's ears, she would always end up having a dream. And the dream would represent her losing her voice. Or like her mouth, her mouth disappears with that first dream and she's looking in the mirror and her mouth is disappearing. And it's kind of like, oh, she's already starting to lose her voice while these voices are being given through Doris and she's not being heard.
Yeah, she's not being heard by her mom.
By her mom.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
Something else that stood out to me. What year did this movie come out? Do we know when this one came out?
I want to say it was early 2000s.
Yeah, so it might have even been around the same time that in Supernatural, the TV show Supernatural, WB, they were dealing with the yellow-eyed demon. The yellow-eyed demon popped into my brain a couple of times as I was watching this film. 2016, interesting. I looked into the yellow-eyed demon just to see if there's any actual, like, lore around that. Surely, if you've seen Supernatural, like, you remember the yellow-eyed demon. That's, like, the first baddie that they come up against, basically. Okay, so who is the yellow-eyed demon in the Bible? Azazel, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, it is.
Azazel. Azazel is the primary biblical figure associated with the yellow-eyed demon trope. Though the yellow eyes are pop culture addition, while referenced in Leviticus 16 regarding the Day of Atonement scapegoat ritual, the concept of him as a yellow-eyed demon arises from 1 Enoch and the modern media, notably Supernatural. And then a couple of other shows and things have represented Azazel as the yellow-eyed demon. Azazel is a popular fictional character that has been drawn from that biblical depiction. So they usually depict Azazel as a powerful demon or fallen angel, drawing from biblical and apocryphal figures associated with sin and the wilderness. Most famously as the yellow-eyed demon in Supernatural, a reoccurring antagonist in X-Men comics as the mutant with teleportation, and a fallen angel in anime like Rage of Bahamut? Bahamut? Okay.
I don't know.
And High School DxD. So definitely like a handful of medias like depict this character. He's known for his demonic powers, often linked to temptation, corruption, and warfare, appearing across various media with different backstories, but the consistent theme of being a powerful, often malevolent supernatural being.
Okay.
That.
Nice. Okay, great. I raise you another demon.
All right, let's hear about it.
The demon that is most often connected to the Ouija board is called Zozo.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So a malevolent entity or demon frequently encountered during Ouija board sessions, known for attaching to users and causing terrifying paranormal experiences, often associated with rapid spelling of Z-O-Z-O or Z-O-Z-O-Z-O-Z on the board. This entity is believed to be a sinister force, sometimes linked to ancient demons or the Pazuzu figure. Let's see.
Ghosts in the Burbs. That's where I heard about this before. Ghosts in the Burbs.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we've talked about it on the podcast maybe once before, but definitely Ghosts in the Burbs.
Yep. Yeah.
Follow Ghosts in the Burbs podcast if you don't listen to Liz Sauer. She's amazing.
Fantastic.
Shout out Liz Sauer. We love her.
We love her. Yeah. Reports describe Zozo as a sadistic, powerful, and deceptive entity, often mimicking other spirits or claiming to be a child. The entity appears to attach people during sessions, sometimes causing personality changes, possession, or physical danger to participants. Famous, often anecdotal cases include a 1951 possession of Roland Doe and the encounters during the 1970s Enfield poltergeist haunting. That's why you know about it. Yeah. From The Conjuring.
Yeah.
The second one. Yeah. Some researchers suggest that the phenomenon is linked to the Babylonian demon Pazuzu, while others consider it a modern, widespread urban legend. It's hard to say one way or the other, like, what he was going for, because, like, I think what Mike Flanagan was going for was kind of just, like, the the demon of the house. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was the evil of the house. It was like the devil's doctor, and it was like all the evil that guy brought in, and turning all of his victims evil out of like spite for, being tortured and voiceless and left in the dark to die after they killed him.
Yeah, not to mention that like that much crazy energy, negativity would be ripping open a portal to more negative shit.
Right. So it's hard to say if he was like trying to channel a specific one. Because I think
if he was trying to channel a specific one, it would have been more clear. Yeah. Like it would have like been noted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But the fact that he did the yellow eyes, like you said, that's a good notch in the Azazel category. And like the fact that it's tied to a Ouija board is almost always Zozo. So it's like, who knows?
Really
like,
interesting.
Yeah. It definitely, this could be, from everything Zozo, like his whole thing is like stealing people's personalities and taking possession of them. So that's like,
there you go. Yeah.
So
you watched the first Ouija, right?
No,
you didn't?
No,
okay.
No, I didn't. It has terrible reviews.
Okay, and Mike Flanagan apparently
he did not do that one.
He
did not do that one.
Well, right, but don't quote me. But I heard that he didn't like that one, and that's why he ended up doing this, was to try to like rechannel it.
Oh, okay.
So like to like rechannel the franchise to the right direction or something. So I would be curious as to like, I wonder if we would get more insight into what Flanagan was like really going for if we saw the first one, to know what he didn't like. But it's not important in that sense, but it's just really interesting to think about like what he witnessed and then decided to move forward with.
Well, I would be happy to watch it with a little wine if you want.
Yeah, do it as like a goof night.
Yeah, just curiosity.
We'll do a little new boot goofing with that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of Flanagan, Mike Flanagan. I know we comment on it in the episode, but I mean already in the episode, I should say. This is all part of one episode, but the monologues, I just, there's nobody else who can write and direct a monologue that really just encapsulates like a feeling, an emotion, like
it's very emotive.
He really knows how to bring that out of his actors, It's really incredible to see. I always think about the one in The Haunting of Hill House when the what's the family that lives on the property?
The caretakers?
Yeah. When he's telling
his monologue.
Yeah, and they're in the basement or whatever, and he's talking about how the house is like weird. That I will like, that is like the best monologue in my opinion. It like holds such weight. It's like way up here, nothing beats it. But Doris talking about how it feels to be strangled to death was so haunting.
Especially for her being like,
she's spooky.
She was definitely a child at that time when she gave that monologue, so it's very haunting. I have some origins of Ouija boards to discuss.
Let's talk about it. Okay. Yeah, let's go. What's the origins of? I mean, nobody knows the origins, right? But what do we know?
It's a little muddy, but the patent first came up for the Ouija board in 1890, which Hasbro has the patent for it. It was like a bunch of different companies before that, but then Hasbro absorbed it, so it's kind of like, oh great. That's a little weird that a actual toy company that makes like dolls and shit for babies is like making this.
No wonder
supposedly
we all don't like dolls.
Just a toy. Yeah, right. But basically, people have been trying to talk to the dead for millennia. So the most ancient roots we can find started in the 5th century AD to about 1100 AD. And they say that the earliest forms of automatic writing or planchette writing were recorded in China around 1100 AD, possibly earlier, during the Song dynasty. This practice involved two people tracing characters on sand or ashes and was believed to be a direct method of communicating with spirit. As far as the unknown inventor, While Charles Kennard and Elijah Bond filed the first U.S. patent in 1890, there's debate about who truly came up with the idea. Reports indicate that in the 1880s, talking boards were already popular in spiritualist camps in Ohio. But like I said, it's already been a thing established in, like, ancient China, so it's like, it's hard to nail down, but it definitely wasn't these dudes. They didn't come up with it. They just saw it as an opportunity to capitalize.
They saw a business opportunity.
Yeah, they're flint-eyed business sharks. So, the named origin. So, according to popular lore, the board named itself. So, in 1890, when the inventors asked the board what it should be called, it spelled out Ouija, and then it claimed that meant good luck in Egyptian.
And we don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah, that could absolutely just be bullshit, that the toy manufacturer was like, oh, this will be fun, you know?
Yeah.
Apparently there's a proven patent on it. So, like, proven to work. Which I didn't realize, because I have the exact one in the movie. I have this old Ouija board.
I'm so curious about, like, what testing had to go through to make that a thing.
Here, I have
okay,
it
you
right
have
here.
it? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm so curious. Let's go. Hit me with it.
So the patent was initially rejected until they brought the Ouija board, the inventors brought the Ouija board and demonstrated it in Washington, D.C., where it reportedly spelled out the name of a chief patent officer.
Because they couldn't have known that.
Yeah. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it was 1891, so it was originally marketed as an innocent parlor game, which is crazy to me, but they didn't really consider it a mystical tool. It was more like just a fun little game you play with your friends.
Sure.
But after World War I, when so many people were met with instant grief and the inability to say goodbye to their loved ones, and the spiritualism movement surged, that's when people started really using the Ouija board to channel the dead.
That makes sense.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, you can call it, most people believe that the name is a conjunction of German, or French and German, so like we as yes and ja as yes in, in German. So it's like yes, yes. Yeah.
We-ya.
So most people think it's that. And you can say Ouija or Ouija. So you can pronounce it either way. So don't come at us, all right? We decided to go with...
Don't come at us. We don't care.
We decided to go with Ouija when we were talking. That's the way I've always said it. That's the way you've always said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We loved the movie.
It was fantastic.
Final question. Have you ever played with a Ouija board?
Yes. Yes, I did. My friend Paige and I, we watched What Lies Beneath. Fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm. We should do that one for the pod for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen it probably since then.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since it came out, probably.
Yeah.
Since around then.
And we pulled out the Ouija board. We played. It was like broad daylight. And I basically just scared the shit out of Paige. We weren't taking it serious or anything, and nothing happened. So thank God. Yeah. No negative experience except that I was a total piece of shit to my friend Paige. Sorry, Paige. If you remember that was all fake. I moved it around of my own accord. Okay, that came out in the year 2000, so I was probably 10 or 11. She was probably 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Pretty great. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Sorry, Paige. I hope that didn't keep you up at night. I mean, we were giggling through it too.
Of
so
course.
Like she knew.
Of course.
She knew I wasn't being serious.
And you like to get yourself spooked out.
You're right. Yeah.
Obviously. That's why we're here.
Yeah. I haven't just been sitting on this for years. Like she knew we were like giggling and having a good time.
I have never played with a Ouija board. I have called out to spirit and asked if there were anything there, and I've used like spirit boxes and stuff like that, but I've never played with a Ouija board.
Yeah, I can't say that I really want to.
No, me neither. Me neither. No interest.
I'm like pretty good on that.
Yeah. Also good.
Yeah.
Also good.
Yeah.
I do think there are some really pretty planchettes out there.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like that's always cool. But
Yeah, totally. And I would have never in a million years thought to look through one to like what she does in the movie.
that is like so scary.
They make it like really big, so it's not like the teeny one that's like this big. It's
Yeah.
like this big
It's a
in
big
the
one.
movie. And I understand why they did that, so it'd be more visually striking.
We talk about it, about how
Yeah.
big the planchette is. We're like, that's a huge fucking planchette.
But yeah, it would have never dawned on me to like pick it up and look through the glass, like,
Spooky.
and I won't. I definitely won't now.
Won't do that.
I'm good. I'm good on that.
Don't do that.
I don't need to test the fates.
All right. Well, that was a great episode. Thank you all
was.
so much for listening and joining us. And we might be doing some video stuff nowadays, but follow us on Patreon.
Yeah, please.
Join the Patreon.
That'd be great.
We'll figure shit out together.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want.
Yeah, what you really, really want.
Okay, bye, babes.
Bye.
Bye.
We would like to thank our special haunted humans who subscribe to our Patreon. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, head on over to patreon.com/screamingmemes. Here's the scream out for Victor A, Aaron A, Selena H, Adam B, Tosin L, Sean S, and Summer. One extra special shout out to Ethan. Your dad actually is friends with the host of Screaming Memes.
Screams just for you.
Hey, thanks for listening to Screaming Memes. We are an independently run podcast and greatly appreciate your support.
Special thanks to Katie Parker for our intro audio clip.
Please remember to follow, subscribe, share, and review. Scare you next time. She pans slowly across the room from left to right. When she gets to the right, a close, dark finger moves.
Oh, it's supposed to be figure.
Not
Yeah.
finger.
That makes sense.
I was like, what?
Yep.
A close, dark finger.
Yeah, right? That's why I was like, I don't remember that. I remember it being like a
Figure.
Yeah.
When she gets to
Yeah.
the right, a dark figure moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well-
Oh, Lana. We love you.
And we love you, haunted humans.
Mm-hmm.